up, beauty gang, and welcome to Girl Talk. Okay, this is the first video I'm doing on my channel. I am a little bit anxious and nervous because I've never done a video like this. Obviously, you can tell by the title, it's about losing your virginity. Kind of a little bit a peek into my experience, just really raw and uncut. That's what a lot of these girl talk videos are going to be. Majority of them is going to be very uncomfortable, awkward conversations that you probably aren't able to have with your parents or anybody else. So I'm like, let me be that for you guys. And you know, even for me, for the longest time I was contemplating, should I even do this? But I'm like, I'm a grown-ass woman. It's nothing I should really fear of others' opinions because my life is my life. I know who I am. My experiences have shaped me into who I am, and you know, even my downfalls and stuff, I want to try to help you guys avoid, which is why I'm doing this series in the first place. So I do want to do girl talk videos once a week. We'll see how this one goes, and yeah, just quick disclaimers because this video is about losing your virginity, so that means aka sex. If sex is something that makes you uncomfortable, or even if it's something that makes you laugh if you hear the word, you're probably too young to be watching this video, so you should click out. I definitely say these girl talk videos are going to be PG-13, if not older, because I'm not sugarcoating, I'm not beating around the bush or anything. Like, I'm going to be saying certain words or certain phrases or whatever that might make you uncomfortable, and I by no means want to do that on this platform. So I just wanted to get that disclaimer out there before I start this video. Lord, this is something very new for me. But yeah, I was thinking like, man, if your parents don't talk to you about it, if you don't have any older siblings or siblings period or friends to talk to you about it, how are you guys supposed to navigate through these life milestones? You know, I know most of you guys look up to me as a sister or even a big sister, and I wouldn't really be fulfilling my role if I didn't do videos like this. So without further ado, let's girl talk. Alright, so I know a huge and frequently asked question actually that I've received a lot is, am I a virgin or not, blah blah, or aka am I even able to talk to you guys about this type of stuff? Like, what do I know? Well, I am not a virgin, and in terms of my experience, I'm not going to get into detail with you guys about stuff, but there are certain bits and pieces that I do want to share with you guys to better understand the topic of losing your virginity. So I guess I will start with my experience a little bit. When I was younger, I had in my mind that I was going to be a VTM, virgin till marriage, okay? But you know what I've realized now as an adult, the problem with me swearing up and down that I was going to be a VTM and stuff is that I had no reason behind it. It was kind of just like, I'm saying that I'm going to be a VTM just to say it. I didn't have any strong ties to anything to really make me want to remain a virgin till marriage, if that makes sense. Like most people who decide to be virgins till marriage, it might be a religious reason, or it might be a promise that they made with their parents or whatever. I didn't have any of that as a reason to be a virgin. I was just like, I'm gonna be a VTM. So I think that was kind of the problem in the first place, if I was serious about staying a virgin until marriage. And to be honest with you guys, peer pressure and me being so naive at that young of an age is the reason I lost my virginity when I did. And I can 100% say to this day it is still the biggest regret that I've ever had in my life, honestly. I don't feel like it happened the way it should have. I don't feel like I gave it to a person who truly deserved it, you know. So that's another reason why I want to make this video, because I don't want you guys to make the same mistake that I did. So alright, try to imagine this. 6th, 7th, 8th grade, EC grammar school, EC grade school, EC period. I was completely innocent. Like, I had never kissed a boy, nothing. Even 8th grade, never kissed a boy. I was terrified to kiss a boy on the cheek, y'all. In 8th grade, terrified. Like, my friend had to double dog dare me, and even then I almost crapped my pants. Alright, I was like that innocent, that naive to that realm of things. And I know that generations have definitely changed. Like, although my generation and, for example, my niece's generation is very close, she's 14, I'm 23, things have changed drastically. The things that she knows as an 8th grader, I had no idea about. I was not exposed to. So that's another reason why I wanted to make this video, because I'm like, man, times are changing. So either us older generation are going to get with the times and try to school you guys in the right direction, or we're going to just fall back and let y'all do what y'all want to do. And I don't think that's the best decision to make. Anyway, 8th grade, super naive, super scary. Okay, very scary. So my freshman year of high school, I started dating this boy without a title for a good year. You guys have kind of heard about that story a couple times. My first ever boyfriend, first kiss, all that, alright? The first year, he didn't give me the title of his girlfriend. We were just talking and people knew that I was his girl, but it wasn't nothing established. And granted, he was not a virgin. So I think that's a whole nother story for another day. I'm not going to get too deep into that. But basically, he eventually did ask me to be his girlfriend after a year of us talking or so, and you know, things were cool and stuff, but he was starting to pressure me into saying like, when are we gonna do it, blah 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 blah. And I originally told him from the jump that I was a virgin. I wanted to be a virgin till marriage, which is probably why he hesitated for a long time to ask me to be his girlfriend anyway. But yeah, he finally asked me to be his girlfriend. In my head, I'm like, oh, maybe he's accepting like my wishes and my wants of wanting to stay a virgin or whatever. But that wasn't the case, unfortunately. And my school was very small. Everybody knew everybody's business. Like, it was just one of those type of schools. And he was my first boyfriend. At that age, he was my first love. In the mindset and maturity level that I'm at now, he wasn't, but I didn't know that at the time. So anyway, yeah, one day it came about, and I will never forget this phone conversation me and him had. We still hadn't had sex or anything, and it had been like a couple months into the relationship, and I remember us being on the phone, and he had said something to the effect of, how long do you expect me to stay with a girl who I'm not able to have sex with, or something like that, basically telling me we either need to have sex soon or I'm leaving you, I'm breaking up with you. And again, being in a naive young mindset, I'm like, oh shit, like, that's my first love, my first boyfriend. Everybody gonna know our business. They're gonna know why he broke up with me. It was just a lot of outside factors that was playing into my head when I really should have only been thinking about myself and how I was gonna feel afterwards. But basically, I ended up giving in. Like I said before, it's definitely one of the most, if not the top, regret I've ever had in my life thus far. Because for one, I definitely felt like I was too young to even understand the significance of what holding on to my virginity or giving my virginity to someone really meant. For two, it was definitely the wrong person, because I think for sure during the relationship and even before the relationship, he was messing with other girls. So I didn't give it to someone special who deserved it, you know, and I just gave into peer pressure. And I've always been a hopeless romantic, so I have some questions that I'm going to answer at the end of the video that I asked my Snapchat fam to send me some questions that they want to know about losing their virginity. But one of the questions that I did receive was, you know, is your first time like it is in the movies? And let me tell y'all, society glamorizes sex, okay? Even after you lose your virginity and you're having normal sex or regular sex, whatever you want to call it, society highly glamorizes it through movies and through magazines and through everything. Like, it's not like that, all right? It's not a smooth transition or a smooth process, especially when it comes to your virginity. Another reason I regret it so much is because I did it because I wanted to save my relationship, not because I truly wanted to give myself to someone else. It was for the sake of my reputation in a way which I really shouldn't have cared about and which wouldn't have been tainted, but I didn't understand that at the time. So getting into you losing your virginity or whatever, for whatever reason you're watching this video. A lot of people asked, when do you know you're supposed to lose your virginity? What age should you lose it? Like, and those questions irk me because everyone is different. Everybody's lifestyle is different. Everybody's lives are different. So for me to tell you, oh, this age, or for you to even listen to people to say, oh, you haven't lost your virginity and you're this age, like, what does that mean? What is that supposed to mean? You know, so what I'm saying is your age does not matter. What matters is when you are truly ready to lose your virginity. Nobody can tell you when the time comes that you have to lose it. It has to be something that you're personally comfortable with, because it's your body, your choice, your rules. Okay, remember that. I'm definitely gonna put that over here. Okay, remember that. Your body, your choice, your rules. All right, I know a lot of people kind of get sad because they're like, I'm 21 or I'm 22 or I'm 30 and I'm still a virgin, and they kind of get down on themselves or almost think like they're running out of time. Girl, The time is in your hands. There is no running out of time. It is when you decide to do it. The timing of losing your virginity and deciding to give yourself to someone is all in your hands. You're the one with the vagina. Like, let's be real. And you're also the one with the legs that are connected to that vagina. So you control if they open or close. All right. So that is completely 100% on you. And I think it's very important for me to remind you to stay true to yourself. I'm not going to tell you what age is appropriate or whatever. Like, if you want to lose your virginity at 18 years old, go ahead. If you want to lose your virginity at 21 years old, go ahead. If you don't want to lose your virginity until you get married, go ahead. But that is you. Like, can't nobody tell you how to go about handling such a delicate situation like that. But what I will tell you is the things that come with losing your virginity, okay? I remember a time I was having the sex talk with one of my older cousins, and she had said how, you know, you're not ready to lose your virginity or be having sex and stuff like that if you're not willing to get like 100% naked with your significant other or your sexual partner. And I remember my first time, I didn't have all my clothes off. I was not necessarily ashamed of my body, but it was just, I was very immature. Like, I was in a very immature mental because I was so young. Therefore, I was not ready. So that is something to kind of keep in mind. Like, if you're not comfortable enough to expose your whole body, your whole being to someone else, you're probably not ready for sex yet. But yeah, a big question that is asked a lot, does it hurt? Me personally, it definitely did hurt. And another question, does it bleed? I bled. I think I've heard of some stories where sometimes it's a lot of blood, sometimes a little. Again, everybody is different. Everybody's experience is different. But I'm pretty sure it hurts for everyone to pop your cherry. And the reason it hurts is because that's a hole that's never been penetrated before. I mean, yes, if you use a tampon or whatever, then it's been penetrated, so to speak, but a tampon versus a penis is two different things. So it did hurt for me. From other stories that I've heard from other people, it hurt for them. So yes, it does hurt. I also got the question of like, how long does it hurt until you're able to enjoy it and stuff. The odd thing about my situation, the first time I tried, it didn't work. Like, it was too painful where we just stopped. Like, I was like, I can't do this. And we didn't try again for months later after that. So yeah, sometimes the pain is unbearable. Sometimes the pain might make you cry. Sometimes the pain just might be like a breeze for some girls. It is different strokes for different folks. Another thing in terms of losing your virginity too, if it's something that you're constantly second guessing, like, should I don't know if like, if you have to do all of that, don't do it. Wait till your mind is completely made up of, this is something I want to do. You literally have to have a conversation with yourself, because although a lot of us are already aware of this, losing your virginity is something you will never get back. Like, it is very, to me, in my opinion, it's very sacred. It's very precious. I know not everybody holds that same opinion of it. And like I keep saying, there are different strokes for different folks. There are a lot of different people in the world. There are some people who want to be in a relationship for a long time before giving themselves to their partner. There are other people who just want to feel established in a relationship before giving themselves to someone. There are people who, you know, might be older in age and just like, let me just get it over with. Like, I don't care. There are others who are just curious because they're constantly hearing from other people that it's so great, and they're just like, well, let's just do this. There are so many different people with different mindsets when it comes to losing their virginity, and no one knows your mindset better than you do. For me personally, I know that I've always been the type of person to want and need like that established relationship. Like, I need to be a girlfriend before I'd give myself to someone like that. But then on the other hand, I know people who are completely fine with not being a girlfriend and just, you know, having one night stands or just having a consistent sexual partner or just having sex with whoever, and that is their business. Like, that's what they want to do. This is what I want to do. And at the end of the day, the decisions we make is what we live with. Like, if one of your best friends goes and has sex with 10, 15 different boys on campus, you might be a little mad at her, but that is her decision. That is her life experiences that she has to deal with the repercussions of, not you. And same goes vice versa. The things that you decide to do, specifically losing your virginity, that is something you're going to have to live with for the rest of your life. Just like this regret that I have of losing my virginity at a young age and to the person that I did, that's a regret I'm going to have to stick with for the rest of my life. So yeah, The whole talk and chatter of losing your virginity is a very sensitive topic, and I hope in no way, shape, or form am I offending anyone, because that is not my goal. My goal is just to kind of school and educate people on this topic, because a lot of people don't really know. A lot of people haven't had people to talk to about it, or haven't had, you know, a role model or an influence to tell, like, to sit them down and be real with them. Like, this is real life. And I do think it's very unrealistic for parents not to talk to their kids about sex or about losing their virginity, because it's happening younger and younger. So yeah, another thing that I do want to say is that regardless of who you decide to lose your virginity to, I strongly suggest and believe that it should be to a partner that you really trust. And trust can be viewed in a lot of different ways, whether that be like an intimate moment that only you guys keep to yourself, or making sure that they are clean of any STDs or anything. And that's a whole nother realm of things that you enter into when you decide to lose your virginity, like pregnancy, STDs, any other diseases that you can get from someone else. So that leads me to, when you do decide to lose your virginity, practice safe sex. Make sure you are keeping yourself 100% safe. And you know, sometimes I know it's not a planned event. Maybe if you're in a relationship, you guys plan it out like, you know, I think I'll be ready soon, blah, blah. But maybe this is something that you want to spontaneously do. You as a female have to make sure you have your own back, which means, you know, making sure you're on birth control. If you're not able to be on birth control because you don't want to tell your parents about it or whatever, at least make sure that you are using a condom during intercourse. And granted, the guy should have that on him anyway if that's what he wants to do with you. But some guys are like, oh, I don't have it, or blah, blah, just on some BS. And that's when you have to have your own back and whip it out your purse like, oh, well, look at here. Look what I got. You know? And by the way, I did actually get another question from Snapchat. Somebody asking, do you need Plan B the day after you have sex? I don't know if she was asking just in terms of losing her virginity or sex period, but Plan B is really only necessary when you're not having protected sex, which you should be having. And on top of that, Plan B cannot be used on a consistent basis, because what they don't really stress or tell you is that you constantly using Plan B can not only mess up your insides internally, but it can also mess up your chances of being able to conceive a child when you get older. So Plan B is not supposed to be used like, oh, I'm gonna pop one every time after I have sex. No, like, it's not supposed to be used like that. It's supposed to be for rare occasions that you might have a slip up or oopsie or something like that. Now, in the midst of losing your virginity in that intercourse process, I will say that if it's a position that's uncomfortable for you, you need to make sure that you say something. Pretty much like I did during my experience, and that's why it didn't work for us the first time around. I was like, oh hell no, this hurts. Like, no. And they, as your partner, that's why I said someone who you trust, are supposed to stop and respect that. Another thing I actually would suggest too during this intercourse of you losing your virginity, 8 or 9 times out of 10 there is going to be blood to come with it. That's why they call popping the cherry, hence the cherry being red, blood, popping cherry, blood pops, you know what I mean? So I would highly suggest that you have sheets that either you don't care about, or a towel that you don't care about messing up, because it can get very messy. And that's why I'm like, society glamorizes sex in general, because how it is in the movies is not how it is in real life, girl. Let me tell you this, and I learned that the hard way. And unfortunately, a lot of us girls are stuck in the hopeless romantic mindset of we want everything to go perfectly and so smooth and just perfection. But life is the furthest thing from perfect, and this situation, losing your virginity, is not exempt from that. So I don't want you guys to necessarily get your hopes up really high for that experience and then it goes bad and you're like, oh damn. And I don't want you guys to lose your virginity and then the next morning you're feeling like shit, like I really wasn't ready to do that. I don't want to do that. And that's why I'm saying, listen to your gut, listen to your instinct. Do not allow peer pressure to waver you, especially if you're in college and you're hearing about all these, skip college, high school, college, even I guess grade school. Sometimes you'll hear a lot of people like, oh, you haven't lost it yet? What are you waiting for? You should do it, blah blah. Like, fitting in should not be one of the reasons behind you losing something so sacred. In a way, I kind of feel bad for continuously saying sacred, because I know some people don't hold that mindset as me. Some people don't think losing their virginity is sacred like that. That's just my personal opinion, which a lot of you guys did ask me to give. Like, what is my personal opinion on the situation? Because I've tried to stay very vague and very unbiased about it all. But I guess my personal opinion is that your virginity is something very sacred. It definitely is something you cannot, rewind and get back. So I really, really, really want you guys to understand, when you decide to take that step, you are walking into another milestone of your life. So yeah, that's all the personal opinion I have of that. To remember that it's sacred. It's something that deserves to be cherished. It's something that not everyone deserves, honestly. And if I could go back and change time and know everything that I know now, I would have waited. Definitely, like hands down, for the right person who truly deserved that from me. So please learn from my mistake. Please follow your gut instinct. Please don't allow puppy love to influence you to give something so sacred. And if you are having that boyfriend or that friends with benefits situation or whatever, the person kind of trying to pressure you, like, when are we gonna do this? We're about to do this soon. Are you gonna be ready? Like, kind of almost seeming like you don't have a choice or a say-so in it. You're gonna have to learn how to be strong enough to say no and move on if that's not a decision that they can respect of yours. That was about all I wanted to touch on in terms of the conversation of losing your virginity. I did ask my Snapchat fam to send me questions that they had about losing their virginity, so I'm going to answer those really quick. Someone asked, what are my thoughts on waiting till marriage? I 100% respect that, and I as well respect those who don't wait till marriage. I think that that's definitely a personal decision for you to make. You can't really base it off of other people's opinions. It just has to be something that you want to do in your life. Someone said, will you end up enjoying it? I guess during the intercourse process of losing your virginity. After it finally penetrates all the way through, I guess you can kind of enjoy it, but it's messy, like, because you're bleeding or you've bled due to the penetration. So you can kind of enjoy it, but it can kind of be awkward and messy and nasty. So I don't really know if I can for sure say you'll enjoy it the first time around. It'll feel kind of good, but it's very messy. Someone asked, is it true that when you lose your virginity that you get addicted? I don't necessarily think that's the case. Sex is enjoyable, but it's not necessarily an addiction for people that I know of. I know some people are like legit sex addicts or whatever, but it's not due to losing their virginity. Like, just because you lose your virginity doesn't mean every other hour, every other day, or every day period you're gonna want sex. Like, you still are in control of your body. It doesn't trigger something else to happen to yourself. Someone asked, being a virgin in college, should you tell the guy that you're talking to, or should you wait to see if it turns into a relationship? My personal opinion, I think you should tell the guy that you're talking to or whatever, just so he knows, because that's only fair. And at the same time, it'll also help you get a feel for their character, because if you do let him know that you are currently a virgin and you're not necessarily sure when you're going to want to give it up, or even if you want to wait till marriage, that will show their true colors of if they will stick around after having such a deep conversation like that, or if they're going to run off. And then I feel like that'll kind of show you their true intentions of you in the first place. Like I said, you guys, this is uncut, uncensored. Another question I got is, does it last as long as people in pornos say it does? Definitely one thing to never do is compare real life sex to movie sex or porno sex or anything like that. It is not like that. There are a lot of uncut scenes that we don't see in movies or that we don't see in pornos. There's a lot of stopping and starting and all of that. So never compare pornos to real life, because you're going to not necessarily be disappointed, but your whole mindset and mental of sex is going to be tainted. Someone said, while losing your virginity, a lot of people say that it's painful, but my question is, what's painful about it? Is the penetration part painful, or is it just the whole process? The penetration part is the painful part. Because you gotta view like that hole as like tight, like never been touched, messed with, or anything, and you're trying to force something in there, that's gonna be painful. Someone asked, do you do things other than penetration if you lose your virginity? That is also another decision that is completely up to you. Nobody can tell you what other sexual acts you have to do. That is another step into your comfort levels of sexual intercourse. Another personal opinion of mine is to honestly hold on to your virginity as long as you can. And if you're ever in a relationship that you're strongly questioning if you're going to be with the person, or if the person deserves you, or even if the person just does you wrong, cheats on you or whatever, and you have not lost your virginity to them yet, I actually would suggest you not losing your virginity to a person like that, because I feel like those are signs that they don't deserve you. If they couldn't wait for you, if they couldn't initially accept and respect your decision to wait until you were ready, then that probably isn't the person for you, and therefore isn't the person that deserves such an important piece of you. The last question, I'm gonna kind of spit into one, because I got a lot of questions about like, how do you tell the person you want to have sex, or how do you even talk about it and stuff. Part of me feels like telling you guys the fact that you even have to ask me, how do you talk to the person about it? Maybe you're not ready yet. Yes, I understand that sex can kind of be an awkward conversation to have, but at the same time, if you're ready to have it, it won't be that awkward, nor should it be something awkward. And if that is something that you just cannot form your mouth to say that you're ready to have sex with someone, or you're ready to take the next level in your relationship like that, then maybe you should wait and hold off a little bit until you are. But yeah, y'all, there was a lot of questions, but I feel like I answered the FAQs of this topic. We made it to our first girl talk. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys found it helpful and informative, and I hope it helped someone, at least one person out there, because I wish I had someone to talk to like this when I was younger at that age, debating the whole thing, because I definitely would have waited. But yeah, I want you guys to learn from my mistakes, my experiences, different things that I've gone through in life. So I definitely am going to continue doing these girl talk videos. Please don't hesitate to leave below what other topics you want me to discuss with you guys. Now that you have a feel for what girl talk videos are going to entail, you know that it's pretty uncensored and uncut. So don't hesitate to suggest different topics below. But yeah, you guys, really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do not follow me on Instagram or Snapchat, you definitely should, because I will be doing different polls and stuff, asking you guys what future topics you also want to hear. So yeah, I will hopefully see you guys next week. Until next time, guys. Bye.